Hey folks, welcome back to another Opponent Masters video, and today we're going to talk about Hala and Crabominable. I still don't think that's right. Crabominable. I think that's close enough. Anyways, so Hala and the crab thing. So this unit, there's some ways that you can run it, right? There's, in my opinion, 3 ways you can run it. All right, first way is just for a fast master mode clear, right? Just full on sync nuke damage. Don't worry about anything else. Second way is a mixture of nuking and, ice hammer damaging. Third way is just pure ice hammer DPS, right? So all 3 are definitely ways that you could go. Yeah, although I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of the hybrid build. I'm more in the camp of you either pick one and not the other. But again, it just depends on your situation, right? If you want to have fun with them, if you want to, I don't know, just make build a fun team. I guess the hybrid build could be nice, right? But otherwise, you generally be picking one or the other, right? So, anyways, first let's talk about the lucky skill that you want on him. Obviously, you want Crit Strike 2, right? If you can't get Crit Strike 2, get Crit Strike 1. If you can't get that, maybe Defense Crush. If not, or Power Flux 3, I guess. But yeah, you definitely want the Crit Strikes on this thing. And when you're building him and building teams around him, a few things that you do have to consider. First being the speed, right? Very, 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 very slow. So you definitely would want speed supports. And I personally would rather have much better gauge management over here over having slow wind up, which powers up moves when the speed is lowered. This is not that great. It's only 10% buff for any minus speed, right? If you're -1 speed, it's 10%, -6 speed, still 10%. In my opinion, not worth it at all. Just go for speed, make sure you could queue up your moves, right? Instead, I think that's much more important than this extra 10%, which is honestly nothing, right? And yeah, you don't really need to worry about maxing out his offense attack because he does that himself, right? Max out your attack, max out your crit over here, right? Accuracy as well for Ice Hammer over here. So yeah, that's another thing you have to consider in team building. But again, Ice Hammer also lowers speed, so make sure you get the gauges. Make sure you get the gauges right? And then Headstrong over here for H6, which is fine, I guess. So let's talk about grids then. So at 1 out of 5, as usual, you got really nothing else here, right? Personally, not a huge brick break. Then there's really nothing you could really do with brick break, right? So there's really no point picking those up. And at 2 out of 5, you actually have some good stuff on 2 out of 5. The big one being Haymaker, right? So that's definitely nice to have. So I personally would pick up the speed over here with the defense, pick up Haymaker here, go up, move gauge refresh at Ice Hammer. You don't really need the accuracy on Ice Hammer, so I just go down here, pick up the speed instead. Extra Ice Hammer power-ups, more Ice Hammer power-ups, attack +5, attack +10. Speed +5, right? You could do Healing Hail if you want, but at 2 out of 5, I don't think a Hail grid is like that big of a deal because you don't have any of the damage multipliers, nor do you have the move gauge multipliers. So I don't really care that much about getting the Hail stuff. But I guess if you really want, sure. Or if you're just going for a fall and sync nuke, you could drop those and pick up the attack +10 instead, just for extra 5 attack instead of the speed stuff. But regularly, I probably just have the extra bit of speed instead, right? And then you have a bit more options to spend the rest, something like HP, defense, whatever, right? And yeah, that's basically for 2 out of 5, I guess. 2 out of 5, again, you have options, right? So out of those ways to run it, there's also outside of the you know what, let's first talk about the sync nuke build, right? So especially if you do have EX Hala, you should easily wipe out a 1.5k master mode on your first sync, right? You should be. He has very powerful sync nuke, right? Probably one of the better ones in the game in terms of strikers. So, because you know, strikers usually sync nuke damage not that high, but Hala is one of the better ones. So you want to pick up Super Preparation 9, mainly because of the fact that you get extra 1.5 times multiplier on your sync when it's super effective, right? This is, again, obviously when we're dealing super effective, obviously you want to come down here, pick up Haymaker, pick up this. You don't have enough to go for this, unfortunately. So, again, you don't need Move Gauge Refresh because you're assuming you're going to clear the stage in your first sync, so you don't need anything else. Pick up the attack plus 10 over here. I guess you could do that. You could pick up, don't do that. Attack plus 10 here, right? So extra 20 attack. On top of 3 sync nodes, Haymaker, Super Preparation 9, because all you have to do is just what? Dart hit plus twice, make them hollow once, sync, and then you should clear the stage. So, that aside, we could talk about some other, I guess, hybrid comps. So first of all, if you're not facing if you're not facing an ice weak stage, you're probably not going to clear it on your first sync, right? So let's talk about, again, some other comps for some, I guess, more long drawn out battles, right? You could still pick up Haymaker. This is more like a mixed build. You want Snow Shelter. This is, you know, we're talking about a Hail team build, right? The attack plus 10 instead of Break plus 4. Invigorating Hail, extra 10% in Hailstorm, and Hasty Hail for, again, the extra the move gauge regen in Hail, right? Probably want to pick up Move Gauge Refresh over here as well, and maybe just one more sync move power up. So something like this, if you're running it in Hail. If you're not running it in Hail, then I guess you have some other options, right? You can still pick up Super Preparation 9 for your first sync at least, I guess, and then you could pick up more Ice Hammer nodes if you want, or you could maybe drop one of those, pick up another sync move node, attack. Or is there speed? Do we have speed? We don't have speed. All right, attack then, I guess. Something like that, or super duper effective too if you're facing an ice weak stage, right? It is slightly costly, but yeah, you could do something like that if it's, well, yeah, it's super effective. So since we're picking up Super Preparation, yeah, you could do something like that if you're not running a Hail team, which I prefer if you're on Hail teams, honestly. So as for a full DPS, so this is assuming you're not going to sync with Hala, right? So assuming you're not going to sync with Hala, again, assuming it's Ice Weak, super effective up. The Ice Hammer power-ups here. Again, Snow Shelter, Invigorating Hail, Hasty Hail. Actually, you don't have that many. Drop a few of those, I guess. Pick something like that, because the really, like, only way I'd really see people run DPS Ice Hammer Hala is with Ice Steven. Because generally you want to sync, because your sync does a decent amount, right? But again, you don't have to, because your Ice Hammer could also do some serious damage as well. So you don't have to do that. You could run with Ice Steven, sync with Ice Steven. So you get the Hail, so you have the Ice Steven damage on top of Hala's damage, right? So yeah, I definitely want to pick up the Hasty Hail stuff. Keep the move gauge and all. So yeah, I guess this is another way you could potentially run this, right? Again, with Ice Steven. In terms of comps, right, I guess something a bit more simple of a Hail comp would be like Rosanta and Lapras, either Lapras or Candace, right? For a more, I guess, mixed hybrid, right? Hybrid Ice Hammer plus Sync Nuke sort of grid. You could run this. If you're going for like a pure, just, Sync Nuke, you could maybe, instead of that, you could run like Nanu over here, and instead of Rosanta, it doesn't really matter who you run over here, honestly. Maybe a tank so you just don't get blown out in like 3 moves, because you really just need that 3 moves, right? Maybe like another, I don't know, extra damage dealer, whatever. It doesn't really matter what you have here. But yeah, that's an option if you want to go like pure DPS. You could, again, Ice Steven over here, right? Again, you definitely want to pick up the Hasty Hail with Steven as well. And then you have Rosanta. Maybe you probably want Hasty Hail as well. try that out yourself. If you don't have enough, then you want to pick up hasty heal. If you have enough, then you don't need to pick up hasty heal, right? So yeah, those are some just really basic team comps, I guess. Rosanta, again, very, very, very great partner for Hala, right? Just the move gauge acceleration just helps so much because again, he is, you know, quite slow, right? So you definitely want that. If you're running like a non-hill comp, again, you can still run Rosanta here. Maybe here you could throw in, I guess, like Kiawe to debuff the opponent's defenses. Also give move gauge acceleration when you come in. Also speed buffs, right? So you could save move gauge acceleration on Rosanta, right, until this one goes away, I guess, and then you can start using the Rosanta one. Although it doesn't really matter that much because you're mostly buffing to start, right? So yeah, potions, all that stuff, I guess. Although with Kiawe, actually, yeah, it kind of matters because you're not always buffing if you are running Kiawe, since you could save a dire hit plus turn, so you guess you could get an extra ice hammer in. So the Kiawe actually move gauge acceleration actually does help here. Never mind. So yeah, unless you want to do all that and just like Shadow Bone instead for the first 3 turns and just buff here. Although I would prefer using his trainer moves just so, you know, Rosanta and Kiawe also get some crits, so you get some extra bit of chip damage in there, right? So yeah, those are some comps, I guess, for Hala. So anyways, that's gonna be this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me guys think in the comments down below. Like and this video, subscribe to the channel for some more Pokemon content. I'll see you guys in the next one.